For the 45.3 million American households with a cat, the annoyance of scooping cat litter is a daily one, and pet owners are big spenders. Pet industry sales reached $124 billion in 2021, according to the American Pet Products Association. That spending, combined with the popularity of robot vacuum cleaners and the acceptance of technology in our homes, has led to a growing business for Michigan-based Whisker. Revenue reached nearly $180 million last year, a 24-fold increase from 2015's $7.5 million. And it all began in the basement of Whisker founder Brad Baxter.
I have to go back over 20 years, back to 1998. Now at this point, I had decided that I wanted to go into business for myself. I wanted to start an engineering services, product development services company, and I ended up doing that. And while I had some success with that, I realized that what I really wanted to do is I wanted to invent. I wanted to build a company around that invention, and at the time I didn't really know what that was. I was working on a few different things at the time, experimenting, exploring, but really hadn't found that aha moment that set me on the right path. A year later, after starting that business, that opportunity actually came in the form of 2 cats and an overflowing litter box. I was down in my basement cleaning up kitty litter mess because when my cats had a dirty litter box, they wouldn't actually go in the box, they would go outside of the box. And while I was doing that, I was thinking about ways that I could somehow automate the process because I was just sick and tired of having to scoop the litter box. What I was thinking about was really some kind of a rotational sifting device using gravity to our advantage instead of raking through the litter and pushing clumps, and that was a fairly inefficient process. And I thought the next step really is to start to do a patent search. So I went ahead, did a patent search, and found something very similar to what I was already doing. And instead of abandoning the idea or the dream of pursuing this product, I decided I would contact the inventor and see if we could work out a license agreement, which is exactly what we did. I was in California demonstrating the very first litter robot in April of 2001. The early days were actually pretty difficult. There was no funding. My parents actually refinanced their home so that they could provide $35,000, which was what the tooling cost to get this off the ground. And so my dad became a partner in the business. He owned 35% of the business at the time. And that was really my first source of funding. After that, there was no external funding. Banks were not going to touch me with a 10-foot pole because there really wasn't any collateral. So I had to find a way to make it work. And the other business that I had started in 1998, which was an engineering services business, and I kept that running for almost 20 years. And it was that business for the first 5 years of starting automated pet care. That other business kept automated pet care alive. I was able to funnel all my profits from the automotive business back into the pet care business. There were a lot of challenges early on because this was really a new segment of product, and although there was one other product on the market, the way I was doing it was quite different, and there were a lot of things that we learned about safety, making sure that the appliance is safe for the cat. There were a lot of learning experiences there. There was a lot of experiences and lessons learned about running a business, especially without external funding. It made it very difficult. I actually had to retool the product at about the 5th year in order to take cost out to make it more efficient so that we could actually start making a profit. Once we started making a profit, I was able to reinvest a lot of that money back into marketing, and then we started to see real growth after that.
In 2015, Jacob Zuepke came on as a consultant to help Whisker with its marketing. A serial entrepreneur, Zuepke was asked by an old friend to help the pet goods company with their digital marketing. He built such a good relationship with Baxter that he stayed on and became CEO in 2022.
In 2015, when I joined the company, I saw a really cool opportunity where the company had a phenomenal product, was about to launch a new version of the product, and maybe lacked a little bit on the marketing front. I know I can poke some fun at Brad there and he won't be offended, but if you do Wayback Machine and you take a look at our 2015 website, I think you'll see there was a lot of room for improvement. As a marketer, I saw this really cool opportunity where the reviews were just insanely cool. I remember reading one specific review of a woman who said that it saved her marriage because her then fiance did not want a cat in the home, and the only way he would tolerate it is with a litter robot. And I remember reading that at the time, not having a cat, and saying, I can tell this story and I can do something with this. And my big aha moment was at the end of 2015 as we got ready to launch the Litter Robot 3. I lined up what was at the time called social celebrities, and we had 25 social celebrities lined up. And each day in December, they would give away a litter robot. At the time, our previous record traffic was about 35,000 visits to our website in 1 month. On December 1st alone, we had 35,000 website visits. And it was an aha moment for me, and I carried that into 2016, where we ended up growing by over 80% that year, and we continued to double down and double down.
One of the things I had a misconception about was marketing. I felt that if I built the greatest product, that they would all come running for it, and I wouldn't have to really spend all that much on marketing, and that word of mouth would take over. That is not the case. Marketing is something that you have to constantly invest in, you have to constantly adjust and adapt, because everything is changing in the marketplace all the time. I didn't realize this early on, but as I started investing in marketing, I realized that is something, it's a very important component of what we do, and it's something that you have to constantly adapt and change and modify. And so the more money we made, the more we put into marketing, and the results of that were and the success of that are what really sold me on taking that approach with marketing.
At the end of 2017, you started to see the landscape change a little bit, and at that time we really pivoted to television. So in 2018, we shot our big first commercial called Don't Be a Scooper. And it was our way of poking fun at people that were still scooping. We almost made it a negative term to be a scooper. It was an aha moment for the company. How do we tell a story about how this litter box can truly change your life, and how the thing of the past is not the thing of the future? And it was a really cool moment for us, where we really saw the direct correlation between putting out a spot that helped people see the litter box differently. And the goal of that spot, when we set out to go on our creative retreat and write that spot together, was we want somebody who's previously scooped to never be able to look at the litter box the same again, and to remember this spot the next time they're elbow deep in cat news. And that's exactly what we came out of it with. And I think ever since then, we've tried to find creative moments of telling our story different and breaking through the noise and the clutter of what is advertising.
It's been great working with Jacob. I think the key to us working together is that we are very different. He is a very much a people person, open. I like to call him the glue within the company. He's also very adept at walking into a room, distilling the situation, and figuring out kind of what the next steps are. I think that's very important for a leader. We complement each other because I'm a lot more focused and tactical, operations, engineering focused. I really get into problem solving. I'm spending a lot of time with focused work, where it's a different way of working. And as the company has grown, there's been a greater need for, let's call it that glue that Jacob provides in his role. We work together very well, and we have a mutual respect for each other.
With the direct-to-consumer business growing, they moved to a 30,000 square foot factory in Juneau, Wisconsin in 2008. Since then, they've expanded the factory to 225,000 square feet.
So in 2015, when I joined the company, I remember Brad telling me that in 2009, when he bought the property that we're still in today, that he was going to tarp off half of the building to rent it out to somebody else. And fast forward to 2023, we have now done several expansions of our facilities, investing as much as $13 million into our Juneau, Wisconsin location here, proudly manufacturing our robots here in America. That's allowed us to go from 30,000 square feet to 60,000 in 2020, 2021. And then we did another expansion in 2021, 2022 that carried us from 60,000 to 222,000 square feet today. That allows us to employ over 300 employees here in Juneau, Wisconsin, for a total of 500 in our company. That allows us to keep up with consumer demand and will allow us to grow into what will be nearly 1 million robots a year here in our factory in Wisconsin.
For us, manufacturing here in the United States is important, and actually it's a good business decision, really. I mean, because we make a fairly large product, and to have this product made overseas, brought over on a boat, stored in a warehouse, and then shipped to the customers, I mean, there's a lot of expense in the supply chain and actually shipping the product over from some other offshore suppliers. So from early on, we decided we were going to locate our manufacturing close to our suppliers, and we identified our plastic suppliers here in Wisconsin, and we decided to locate the plant here for that reason, so that we would be close to the supply of parts. So all we were doing is integrating the actual assembly process into the with the warehousing of the product and the fulfillment side of things. And it just made a lot of sense to be vertically integrated.
When I think about what makes Whisker magical, it's our inventive culture. We have a lot of people that are super passionate about building the future of pet care. And they get to bring that inventiveness and their tenacity to work every single day. Whether you are in our operations facility, where you are working on the line and you're saying, I have an idea and I think I can make this process a little bit better. Or you're in our engineering lab in Michigan working on a new inventive product that may redefine a new category in pet care in the future. The goal of what we're trying to do is bring a lot of very creative people to Whisker to help bring their best selves to work every day and really help us shape the future of pet care.
I've been at Whisker now for 23 years, and Whisker is completely ingrained in me. I mean, this Whisker is a part of my life. This was a vision I had over 23 years ago, and I was told many times that this would never go anywhere, that it was not suitable for retail, but I stuck with it, and I think our success is what shows that it was the right decision to stick with it at the time. And I think for me, Whisker is evolving a great deal, and I'm very excited to see what we're going to do in the future with our digital products and our apps, and what we can do with the data that we collect from all the hardware, and how we integrate that into a holistic view of the pet wellness. That's what I'm really excited about, is the data side, as well as the great hardware that we can couple with that.